and thank you so much for joining us today. This is our first series of talks. I would rather call it a talk show rather than an interview because we are not discussing something academic here, but something which can definitely be life-changing for all of us. A new project started off with the AFPI, project of coming up with books. It experiences, some of this was in the form of ideas a few years ago. I remember we speaking about coming up with a coffee table book and XYZ. Dr. Bijayraj had initiated this discussion a couple of years back. And then I'm really happy that today we have something which is already out of the publishing house and people are reading it, liking it, and sharing it with their colleagues. So thank you so much for all your efforts. And this is going to be the first talk of a series of 4 talks, which will happen over a period of a year, 1 in every quarter. So today I have with me some of the authors and the editors of this book called Family Medicine Success Stories, a first publication from Family Medicine India, where some of our senior doctors, some of our senior stalwarts of family medicine in India are going to talk about why this happened and how this happened and why their story matters. So before we go into the depth of the discussions with individual authors, I would just take a few quick minutes of introduction from all the speakers today. So if you don't mind, let's start with Dr. Sujata, since she's first on the discussion panel. A quick 1-minute introduction, please, all of you. Dr. Sujata, please.
Yeah. So hi, I'm Dr. Sujata Chakravarti. I'm practicing in New Bombay, and I've been practicing here for 11 years total, probably around 16 years, 17, putting it all together. And I did my M.Med from CMC Vellore, MBBS prior to that, long time back actually, from Calcutta. And it's lovely. Ever since I've gotten into AFPI, the community, I mean, the feeling, it makes one feel so much special to be doing something like this. So I'm so excited to discuss with all my friends and colleagues here, and lovely. It's almost like having a little reunion up here again after FMPC. So let's see.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Sahadev, could you just give a quick introduction of yourself for a minute?
Yeah. Greetings to all of you. I'm Sahadev Swain, and I practice as a GP in Luton, near London. So that's my introduction.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Sahadev, let your better app also come. She's
I see
standing
madam in the
there.
background. Yeah.
Please come over and give a quick introduction.
Hi, I'm Anjali, and I work in UK in sexual health, so sexual and reproductive health, so mainly contraception and obviously sexual health as well. Yeah, thank you.
Great. Thank you, ma'am. It will be good if you could join us for this program. Please have a seat with Dr. Sahadev if you can.
Thank you.
Bansal sir, आपका introduction please, quickly.
I'm basically an introvert, but the time at which I did my DNB and my experiments in family medicine was such a time that one has to beat his own drums. And I'm happy that the sapling which I had nurtured has grown into a tree.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Bansal. Dr. Naresh, over to you.
Yeah.
A quick introduction, please.
Just telling that I did my DNB family medicine in 1992 after having been a DOMS, a specialist in eyes for all those years from Maulana Azad Medical College. So my enthusiasm for family medicine was very great, and in all the conferences, mostly multi-specialty conferences in Delhi of various forms, whether it is North Delhi or it is Delhi State or All India, IMA, always including my own Maulana Azad alumni. I have always tried to advance the cause of family medicine at all levels, always, and try to tell other graduates, and so that try to glamorize and make it for the new graduates to join this stream. That's what my aim as a family medicine activist today is also. My Facebook ID is only family medicine activist.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Naresh. Dr. Vandana, it's your turn.
Yeah, hello everyone. So I'm Dr. Vandana Boobna, and I'm a family specialist in family medicine. So I'm a family doctor. I'm practicing family medicine. I'm a consultant in a corporate hospital in Delhi, that is Max Hospital. And I have joined AFPI since its inception. It is my family and it's good to be connected. And yes, I'm a proud family physician today.
Thank you, Dr. Vandana. Thank you so much. Smruti, you're next.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Smruti Nikumhavar. I'm DNB Family Medicine. I graduated in 2014. I was the candidate from the first centralized counseling of the DNB for the family medicine. I got in touch with AFPI after the first FMPC, thanks to Dr. Piyush Jain sir. And since then, it's a wonderful journey. I'm practicing in a rural area named Sankeshwar in northern parts of Karnataka. And I'm actively involved with Pratyush and other Wonka rural and AFPI rural team. So yeah, looking forward for this.
Thank you.
We
Thank you,
miss
Dr.
you,
Vijay.
Smriti. Join more.
Yes, ma'am.
We miss you. Join more. You were not there in the conference.
Yeah, I missed the recent FMPC because of some family commitments, but I'm looking forward for next FMPC in Rishikesh or Lucknow,
Sure.
where I want to.
Wherever it is.
Yes, wherever
Missing
it
it.
is. Yeah.
Thank you. Dr. Vijay, over to you.
Yeah, hi, good evening, all friends. I'm Bijayraj. Um, it's a nice feeling having Dr. Bansal and Bansal sir and Dr. Naresh Chawla sir and the doyens and stalwarts of family medicine. I always had this feeling that I invented family medicine in Kerala. That's a problem with everyone who joins family medicine even now, that we all feel that the specialty started with us. But it's always good to be reminded that there are so many people who worked so hard for us since the last couple of decades, or more than that, actually. Thanks, Idris, for arranging this meeting. And about the book, I'll come to it when we go through the rounds. I'm practicing Calicut. I'm in a very small kind of health center in the periphery of Calicut city, doing just family medicine. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Hemant, your turn now. A quick introduction, please.
Thank you, Idris, and thank you, everybody. Very, very warm welcome to all, and a very good evening. I've been working in the central government for the last 24 and a half years, and then took voluntary retirement and started my own practice and founded the GP clinic. So I'm a practicing GP and founder of this clinic, and that's about it.
Thank you, Dr. Hemant. Can we now move on to Dr. Sunil? Dr. Sunil, a quick introduction, please.
Good evening, everyone. I did my DNB family medicine in 1998, completed my exam, and I've been working in CMC Vellore for the past, from the year 2000. Thank you. Good to be here with all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Sunil. I'll just quickly scan to see if Dr. Srividhya is with us. Seems we have kind of lost her. I will get her back when she's back in the discussion. All right. Thank you for your round of introductions. So my name is Dr. Idris and I am a family physician. I currently practice in Kuwait, originally from Bangalore, India. I did part of my treatments. That our next level of discussions will be one to start off with the introduction of what we are doing with. So I think we will go over to Dr. Bijay and Dr. Sahadev to come back to us with how this whole idea conceptualized and how this idea actually came to them and what is the background story of this book. So Dr. Sahadev and Dr. Bijay, over to you. You have about 6 minutes, 3 for each.
I think Dr. Sahadev sir has to take the lead in this. The book is 99% his inspiration and perspiration, and 1% of my just being there.
It is so kind of you, Vijay, and the greetings to all of you. I'll try to finish in 4 minutes. My wife knows I can't do anything very quickly. So I'll try this one. Thank you for attending the session, for sneak peek into the success stories and maybe celebrating the success of the success stories. There's a lot to tell about the book, and you will hear some aspects of it from Vijay and others who will follow me. Some of you may know I was doing obstetrics before being retrained into the tricks of family medicine. Obstetrics means watchful expectancy and masterly inactivity. The book did go through long period of inactivity after initial bout of very hard activity and frantic activity towards the end. After going through the long pregnancy and what I would say very painful prolonged labor, and in between shopping around for a safe labor ward from Delhi to Bhubaneswar to Cuttack, and meeting some cheats on the way who took advance and never got admitted to me too for that. What we see today is a beautiful baby. The love that has poured through the proud moments have been its release in the FMPC, where all these authors, I am actually a surrogate mother, don't give me 99% credit. When the real authors walk around with the book is the pride and tell their story, that is the highlight of the moment. For me, the other moment, I must say, it's released in my own medical school, where I went back after 30 or 40 years of graduating to the very teachers who taught me ABC of medicine, to give this medicine, this success stories book. And not only a book, a new concept of family medicine that from their student to my teachers were the best I could have expected for. On top of that, they were asking my autograph in that book. What pride can it give me more than that? That is definitely the proudest moment. So I'm going through what is called postpartum blue at this moment. Sometimes there is glory, sometimes believing, did it happen? But what is most important, that this book is no more a baby, it is almost ready to produce or be pregnant with new ideas. There are new bloods coming up saying, they're saying, Dr. Swain, you're old, you only wrote success story. We are ready to write inspiring stories. So I have been inspired by younger blood. So watch out for the part 2. More than that, it has almost delivered the idea of a textbook of family medicine of India. There cannot be any proudest moment than that. I could talk about the whole hour or two, but I have got no plans to do that. And thank you for listening. And thank you all. Congratulations. It's your book. Go with the pride. I'm sure it's not a book. It's a concept. It's a story. Tell everybody you come across that family medicine is here to take care of you and your families. Thank you. Over to Vijay for that next 2 minutes.
Thank you, Dr. Sahadev. Thank you. Dr. Vijay, over to you.
Thank you, Sahadev sir. I don't know how to start actually, but I remember we had some discussions about how we don't have, visible good stories of people to share with the community in general. Because even now when students, people, all other specialties were doing well, but we hardly hear of anyone in family medicine who's done well. So I think in one of the previous FMPCs, most of the younger people, they had met and we had mooted the idea of such a kind of a work. No, not of course at the scale of what like the book which Sahadev sir and team have ended putting up, but we wanted various people to share their journeys and tests and tribulations and successes in one place. I think that like dekhte hi dekhte, it took the form of it took the nucleus of a book, which actually turned out in reality. Now that's part one. The next part is about, I would like to ask ask for an apology from many of you for having edited out a few portions in your works. What I did was, my approach was very simple. There were only 2 or 3 points in that. We all come from various regions of India. Each of us has got our own accents, dialect, style of delivery, usage of English language. I tried not to meddle with that at all. Zero meddling. The only modifications which I made were cosmetic for the sake of consistency and clarity. That's grammar. Rest all, whatever submitted, we try to keep it as much as possible intact. And the third thing is that in that book, as Sahadev was mentioning, there's long gestation period. So it's about, I think about 3 or 4 years we must have, probably 3 or 4 years back we must have written that the real story, and maybe we ended up modifying it just before we submitted it. So there were a lot of young people who said that they also want to contribute, as I was saying. And in fact, why just them? I have a lot of things to contribute in that, because my story was updated in 2013. It ends till 2013, and it's been now 10 years almost after that, and a lot of things have happened. Very interesting things have happened. I would say, like, so use the word, we have inspiring stories to tell. That's what people said. I'll also say the same, but it's a very nice euphemism to use. It's never good to hear the word failure. The better word be, I got an inspirational story to tell. And yeah, we are all looking forward to the second book, and I'm looking forward to editing them, because I get to read all the stories in one place first before all of you do. So let's look forward to a good journey together. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bijay. Thank you so much. So we will now dive into the portion where the authors will share some of their insights. So the first one on our list today is Dr. Sujata. So Sujata, are you ready?
Yeah,
right.
I'm ready.
So,
I'm ready.
Great. So we will begin with our first question. The first question for this round will be, what made you choose to tell this story? What was your thought process behind the story that you have told in the book?
So
you've got about 2 minutes.
I mean, if you've read my story, it is just how I got into family medicine. How while in medical college, even after passing out, I really wasn't even sure why I had to choose. I like everything. I like doing surgery. I like doing a little bit of pathology and everything. And I really couldn't choose. When it came to giving a postgraduate entrance exam, the whole idea of trying to sit down, memorize, mug up MCQs with no consequence with that understanding. I mean, you just mug up and try and get a score in an exam. And I didn't really feel like I understood medicine that way. So I actually started working before I did a PG. So after my MBBS. And when we started discussing on this group, on our AFPI WhatsApp group about writing this book, Dr. Sahadev, I think he reached out to me and he just said, just tell us your story. And in a very, very short while, I just sat down overnight and I just wrote it. I illustrated it later. I put in stuff later and I just wrote it and I sent it to him and I thought it was terrible. I really thought it was terrible. But then he gets back to me right away and he says that that's what we wanted to hear. That's what we wanted to know. That how your life and your family, how you got inspired. And in the process, I got such a lovely mentor, friend, father figure, brother figure. I don't know what to say about Dr. Sahadev. He's still inspiring me. Every little thing that I'm doing these days, he still inspires me. And it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. Okay. I think Dr. Naresh is on a call.
Just give me a minute.
Idris, mute him, please.
Yeah, Dr. Sujata, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, so I unmuted myself. All right. So
Yeah, go on.
that's the thing. So if you read it, it's all about like how I didn't know what to do. And then suddenly I realized that that's the whole idea. You don't really have to do one particular part of medicine. The whole idea is to give a patient holistic care about everything and the entire family too. And I actually already did that. Whenever I saw someone in an OPD, I was like, okay, who do you have in your family? Who takes care of this and that? And then, I mean, CMC Vellore, I mean, that was such a lovely experience where it made us feel that what we're doing is right. There is a requirement for family physicians, someone to network it all together. You don't need to be a specialist and know a lot of things about a very small thing. Instead, it's a good idea to know a little bit about everything so you can guide patients a lot better and treat them so much better.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Sujata. I will come back to you for the next part of the question.
Yes, please.
So, Dr. Naresh sir, आपकी बारी है. आप बताएं कि जो story आपने बताई हमें, why did you choose this story? You'll have to unmute yourself, please.
Yes. Thanks, Idris, for giving me the opportunity. As I already told you, I was an enthusiastic family medicine activist right from the word go, way back from 1990 onwards, when I happened to do my DNB family medicine. And since, as you most of must be knowing, that I was connected with the so-called IMA politics, which was national also. I was the president of Delhi Medical Association, a huge constituency in 2008. So I always had a voice. You'll be very happy to hear from me when I finished my DMA tenureship, the president of DMA, of which I was the president of 15,000 doctors. I took it on to myself. From now onwards, it'll be for me only family medicine, promotion of family medicine. So even now also, I have written huge articles in various journals, including my North Delhi, including my Delhi Medical Association, including National IMA, always. So, Dr. Idris, one thing I'll share, even family medicine, despite being the best medicine, you will not believe it. I was only day before yesterday, I was sitting with the Union Health Minister. Yesterday, I was sitting with the Delhi Health Minister, Satyendra Jain. They all said they want promotion of GPs or family physicians or family medicines. They all said we want them to take up the lot of the primary health care. This is a good statement, but when it comes to promoting it, no one does. So I appreciate Dr. Raman Kumar, who took on the mantle of AFPI, Dr. Vandana, and many of you who have actually strengthened. So we need to come up. You asked, my question was, why did I think to tell my story? So since I already has a voice, you will not believe it, even on many of my myriads of TV shows, I openly use the word, go to your family physician, go to your family doctor. We all believe that family doctor can do wonders. It is, if you really ask me, if I was the health minister of India, family medicine is the answer to the beleaguered health delivery system of India. But who will make it believe to the politicians and the other people? So we take it on to ourselves, me, you, all of us, to promote it. So whenever, in whichever platform I speak, I always tell people more and more graduates have to come up in this stream, and we have, Dr. Idris, not only to promote it, we have to make it commercially viable also. If I tell my people that I see 70 patients per day, I make good money. So it becomes a commercial viable thing, and it becomes a glamorous specialty. Why did radiology become a glamorous specialty? Why did plastic surgery become a glamorous specialty? So we have to tell people it is a good human job for the betterment of India, and at the same time, a good commercial viable venture also.
Thank you so much, Dr. Naresh. Thank you. We will come back to you for the second round of the questions. Dr. Vandana, it's your turn. Why did you choose to tell the story that you told? You'll have to unmute yourself. I think you're on mute.
See, why I'm telling you is this story is very simple. I want the world to know and understand something which I did not understand 20 years back. In 2003, I joined family medicine, and it was post-marriage. I was struggling and I did not know what I have joined. family, what it was about. Even my mentors could not guide me properly. And when I passed in 2006 and in 2010, when AFBI was born, and I was taking a lecture in Maharaja Agrasen in 2011 and sensitizing the residents to DNB family medicine, they asked me, DNB ke baad, can we do ENT specialist? Can we do this? Can we do that? So we have been clear and loud throughout that we want to become a family practitioner. This is what the branch is about. And post my MD in DNB in family medicine, it is 16 years down the lane. I love my branch. I know how much I can reach to the community, and I know how many families I have built relationship to, and they believe in me, and they want to go into any other specialist after asking me only. So if the residents are still shying away from taking this branch and they do not want to be called as a family practitioner, so I really want to share the success stories to everybody around that yes, India's structure, it's so diversified, and the liability lies on the patient's shoulder for the ailments or the point contact to the doctors. So they need a continuum of the care, and this we can give to the patients. So we want all the doctors who is looking for some specialty to join family medicine, to be a family practitioner. That's why I've shared my story to the world.
Thank you, Dr. Vandana. Dr. Sunil, are you with us? Yes, your turn, sir, your turn.
Yeah, thank you. So I think my story is like a journey. I wanted to share about my background and why family medicine was taken as a choice. Because my parents are doctors and they had their own hospital in Kerala. So I was expected to do medicine and cardiology and take up the hospital. But few things happened along this journey. As a medical student, I read about family medicine. And I went to Odanchitram Christian Fellowship Hospital. There was a doctor from the UK there. So he asked me, what specialty are you going to take up? And he challenged me to take up family medicine because they had started DNB there. Then during my internship, my senior mentors advised me to work for 2 years before I went for my postgraduate training. So my internship was very good. I enjoyed it. And during that time, I went to visit a place in Melghat in Maharashtra, and I saw malnutrition, I saw children dying, which really shook me. I was there for a month because it's so different from Kerala. I went and worked in it's a remote mission hospital in Maharashtra for a year after my internship. And sometimes I was only doctor there. And I saw the breadth of cases which came, a woman who had 28 weeks, pregnant woman who had an abortion, and the fetus was hanging between her legs saying, look, doctor, you look after me. And I said, I'm not an logician. Okay, then we take her home, So I realized that India needs more generalized. Went to Odanchitram, worked there in medicine for a year. And then I saw that by the time they had started the DNB family medicine there. And then I decided to do it, to the horror of my parents and my relatives. So I wanted to write the story so that people will know, look, it's not like you choose some specialty. I didn't get anything else, so I'll do family medicine. I had a seat booked for internal medicine in Manipal, but I personally felt this was God's call on my life to do it. So that's why I shared the story about my journey. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. We will now move to Dr. Smruti.
Yes, so as I mentioned, I was from that batch who got enrolled into family medicine through the centralized counseling. And I still remember that day of month of May only it was, around this date only, where I was totally confused because family medicine, I have never heard this term. And we were waiting in that counseling hall, and a gentleman from Chennai was telling my father the scope of this branch is very high in future, and I have asked my daughter to take it. And I was in confusion. When I entered into the hall, I rejected the seats in the first round, and second round was like the mop-up round. And my choice seat was in front of me, but it was there in the reservation, was not possible. And it was the last day of round. So blindly, like, akkad bakkad Bombay, I was like, okay, I want to stay in Maharashtra. I'm just gonna take a seat which will be near to my house. And that way I'm a privileged child, privileged in the sense my parents are doctors, they are specialists in their own this, and I'm the only girl child. So a lot of privileges there in life. But when I actually entered into residency, as Vandana ma'am said, and Minnie said, that there were no proper mentorship. What we were doing, we were not sure. And back there in 2021, AFPI has just born, and they were struggling hard to bring this postgraduate degree into the first schedule of the MCI, which was not then. But when we took the admission, then it was in schedule 2. So it was kind of feeling we are doing post graduation, but still we are not going to get the prestige, we can say, of the schedule 1. So always used to be a dilemma. I should continue or I should not. But in 2012-13, my friend from Delhi shared, no, it's now been because Ramansan and everyone was working hard on that. It got included into the schedule 1. So there my confidence increased. And I received first FMPC brochure 2 days after the FMPC got over. So that was a really sad moment. But Dr. Piyush was very generous to boost my morale. और वो कहते हैं एक तरह की माता आ गई. Then I fought with my institute. I demanded. It was a corporate hospital for sure, and I was the only candidate who survived for 3 long years. One before me, one after me. They left the course in between. That was a sad state. But I was determined enough to finish my residency. I took maximum rotations I can. I fought. Unfortunately, I couldn't help the institute to renew because there was some lacking from the institute side. But the inspector was inspired and he was happy with me that I was pursuing and I was defending each and every question. I understood what family medicine is about. Then in 2014, the AFPI WhatsApp group happened and I just got connected with all wonderful people of AFPI family. And then it's a journey. I felt like sharing my story because by choice I came to rural India. I've seen my parents struggling into supposedly developed, but now it's developed and then it was developing. So I've seen their struggles and always felt that rural India needs us more. Because now also I face the challenges of I'm competing with the RMPs, I'm competing with the quacks, I'm competing with the incompetent GPs. It's a huge struggle. So we just have to fill this gap between the super specialists and these unqualified people. So I just felt my journey may inspire. This story I've already shared on the Rural Health Success Stories blog. But when Sahadev said that, would you like to share your story? I felt I should reshare it so that the new generation will understand it. And of course, Bijayraj sir and Sahadev sir gave it a good modification because mine was a very raw. So it became more readable. So yeah, that's why I felt like sharing. And hopefully I'll contribute in part 2 also. Because as Vijay said, 10 years have passed. So many things have changed. So we'd like to add more inputs in coming editions. Yeah.
Thank you, Smruti. Dr. Hemant, your turn now. Why did you choose to share what you shared from your story? What was the purpose behind the story?
Thank you, everyone, for giving me the opportunity. As Dr. Smruti said, and as Dr. Sunil said, that sometimes born to doctor parents has certain expectations. And born to doctor grandparents has even greater expectations. So I only grew up seeing only one profession all around me, and that was healthcare. And I wanted to be a doctor like my elders in the family. Not because they forced me, but because I wanted to be one. So I became a doctor. And then I found that circumstances were such, I was time boxed. Like in Kerala, from where I did my graduation, you could pursue post-graduation only if you had a domicile. And Delhi, where I was a native, you could only pursue if you were a graduate from Delhi. So I was barred from both states. So then CMSC, that is the Combined Medical Service Examination, came and I took it and I practiced for 10 long years. And I thought that I'm enjoying whatever I was doing, but then suddenly the opportunity of family medicine came and I got to know about it. And I thought that this is what would probably make me complete. And I did it, and I had the opportunity to swing into internal medicine, which I denied. And I I felt myself that, and I wanted to share because I thought that if one stays focused and has the right attitude, then opportunities do come your way and you get where you ought to be. So that is what, and one thing very, very positive I wanted to say about Dr. Sahadev was that every time he asked about, I submitted a draft and he would come back and say, yeah, this is what we want. So he was so encouraging. He was so inspiring. And so was Bijay.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Hemant. Dr. Bansal, your turn, please. Why did you share the story that you shared? आपको अनम्यूट करना होगा सर, आपका माइक म्यूट है.
Hello.
Did we lose? Yes, sir, we can hear you. It's on mute again.
Now?
Yeah, I think now we can hear. Yes, now we can hear you.
So, Dr. Sahadev, Dr. Idris, Dr. Naresh, Vandhana, and all others. Let me tell you that I passed MBBS in 1976. I passed MBBS as the second best graduate in my university. My professors were all after me that to do specialization in their subject, but somehow I started practice in the very first week I completed my internship. And I was satisfied in the practice, but I realized that hands-on training was not sufficient during internship. I joined one hospital nearby, which was recognized for senior housemanship training in those days. And I worked in all the departments, say medicine, surgery, pediatric, gynec. Of my own interest, there was no guide for me at that time. I appeared for FCGP examination of IMA College of General Practice, but then found that that was not a recognized degree. Medical Council had not recognized it. Luckily, therein in Delhi, I came to know about DNB when I had gone for award of fellowship of College of General Practice. And then I went to the board office and filled up the form, and my training was accepted as the appropriate training for doing family medicine residency. And with some modification, I have contributed at that time in the way how students should be trained for family medicine, and that the training which I had undergone was accepted. Then there was another issue. My patients were satisfied with me. Consultants in other hospitals were satisfied, but not my friends. Somehow, it was a bolt from the blue. There is no specialization like family medicine. There is no way a doctor doing practice can label himself as a specialist. There were complaints against me. I was considered as a persona non grata. I was labeled that I am a quack who had just started writing DNB as his qualification, and there is nothing like DNB. But then I started labeling me as a family medicine specialist right from 1985. It so happened that my patients were so satisfied that I was happy in that. But quite often, my colleagues who were attached to nursing homes, they did hell of the job. So I thought of why not to develop a group all over India. And I came across a list. I tried to do correspondence with them. And ultimately in 1992, I formed an association of family medicine specialists in India. Dr. Naresh Chawla had just passed DNB in those days, and I had conducted one meeting in his house for those who had done DNB in Delhi. Similarly, I had done meetings in several cities in India, say Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta, Nagpur, Varanasi, Bangalore, and many more places. And ultimately, I could develop a constituency that there is something called family medicine specialization, and family medicine is a specialty in its own right. I had correspondences with SAARC countries and Southeast Asia region, Wonka also. I represented me in workshops of Wonka at Nepal. Somehow, I thought that I have developed such a thing that yes, people have started considering that family medicine is a specialization and it's worth doing family medicine. But then takers were very few because none of the medical colleges had the department, none of the universities were doing examination for it, and there was no job opportunities that way. During these periods, from time to time, people used to say me that perhaps you are a failure, so you did not get an MD seat, so you are doing general practice. So to satisfy me and satisfy those friends, I used to appear postgraduate entrance examination, and every 5 years. And while doing practice, thrice at interval of 5 years, I got selected for PG seats in the state and government medical colleges. Third time, a junior colleague just told that, sir, we used to call as Nana, Dada. Sir, you are doing practice in a small clinic and you come and sit over here and get selected. We are struggling so much and we do not get selected for this examination. It's good. It's really inspiring, but one seat is get wasted that way because that seat is earmarked on your name and you do not join it. From then onwards, I did not appear. I did not want me further to be recertified that I'm still competent. Anyhow, I tried my best to nurture a sapling, and as in the name of Association of Family Medicine Specialists of India, and now that is AFPI. I'm happy. I'm satisfied that way.
Thank you, Dr. Bansal. Thank you so much. We have just been joined by Dr. Srividhya. Dr. Srividhya, it's your turn. Give us a quick introduction of yourself and where you practice, and then you can go on to answer why you shared the story that you shared in the book. That's the question we are dealing with right now.
Thank you, Idris, and it's nice to see you all. Sorry, there was some issue I couldn't join, and I logged in and then I had to log off and then I joined again. And I did miss all the interesting stories, so probably as it's recorded now, I can go back and hear it later on. Lovely to see you all. By the way, I'm Dr. Srividhya, and I take care of family medicine training program at Bangalore Baptist Hospital. And so I think one of the reasons why I was so interested in this book was a lot of discussions were happening to and fro for a long period of time. I'm sure, Idris, if you remember back in our nationwide days, Professor K. Mohana was the first person who was there with us as a part of her study. And then she was discussing about family medicine book. And then we were all so happy to be part of that. And we had contributed at that point. And unfortunately, due to some reason, we couldn't publish that. And I'm sure with a lot of discussions now going on in our forum and with active members, we will be able to publish our book soon, which would be useful for the family medicine residents and the faculty across India. One of the reasons why I wanted to tell my story was I'll just briefly tell how I entered general practice. Of course, in my undergrad year, I always wanted to be a gynae, and I did a lot of work in gynae, but I wasn't aware of family medicine, or I would say general practice in UK. And when I went there, that's when I came to know. And I never regret my decision on switching my career after 5 years in OBG and then moving on to GP. And once I moved back to India, I have always been interested in academic program and active member in our Karnataka team as well as the national team. My main interest would be to incorporate the idea of medicine in undergraduate training program. Of course, a lot of our PGs who enter the training program still join family medicine as a last option. Recently, I had a trainee who's joined it as the first option, which I was so happy to hear. And things are moving. There are a lot of people who have come up. 10 years ago, when I moved back to India, family medicine was there, but not many of us were aware. But things are slowly improving, and I'm glad to see a lot of active members in the group who are showing a lot of interest. And I wanted to share a major event which happened today, where discussing about, I was a part of a program called Training the Trainers program, which was done by people, group of institutions joined together to help the government institutions where they have started the DNB and diploma program, not only in family medicine, but across the other specialty. I was a group of 5 trainers who were selected for this program. And it was very nice to see the lot of interactions with the government agencies, and they have started recognizing family medicine, and a lot of new things are going to come up in Karnataka, but I'm sure Kerala and UP have already started taking up family medicine faculty in their CHC. But today was an important day where a lot of discussions were happening, and the Karnataka government is also ready to take up the family medicine faculty for CHC post, which is a great news for people in family medicine and in Karnataka. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vidya. So I'm glad that we have completed the first round of questions. We are slightly delayed, but I think we can catch up. Dr. Sujata, coming back to you. This round, we will be sharing the small tidbit from the story that you've written for the book. Something interesting from your story. It's just a small 1 minute or 1.5 minute tidbit so that people can come back to it for more later.
All right, so kind of like a sneak peek into what my story is about, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so yeah, so what should I say? So I mean, coming into family medicine was a little bit of an accident because, like I said, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to specialize in. And there's so many different things that I like to do. And in general, I got into medicine by accident. So after that, how being a little different kind of a doctor, not someone who would like follow methods, see a patient, write medicines and let the patient go or something like that. How being a little different and being yourself can also add to how good a doctor you are. That's what's there in my story, and how you don't really have to feel like you need to be a specialist in some specific kind of field of medicine in order to enjoy being a doctor. That's what you'll find out in being a family medicine doctor. So after the book came out, the next day, I'd actually brought one of the copies back to donate to my hospital library. And surprisingly, after I did that, there's so many of the young interns and residents who came up and said that, okay, if you're starting DNB here, how do I apply? How do I get into family medicine? And that's lovely.
Fantastic.
I mean, got so interested just by a little story that I've written, and let's hope we can inspire more. And when, so just before the final release of, I wrote the story in 2008, 17 or 18. So much has happened after that. Pandemic came, I became a mom and so many things. And when Dr. Sahadev gave the story back to me, said, do you want to edit it? before we finally published, and I said that I need to rewrite it then because there's so many things that happened. So that's when he said that maybe we'll do that for the next edition. So we'd already started talking about the next edition before this edition came out. So yeah, so let's see how much more we can add to it, and so much
Great,
more.
thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sujata. Dr. Sahadev, we have the topic for the third book. The third book can be Pandemic Stories from Family Medicine in India. Thank you. We will now move to Dr. Naresh. Sir, a small bit of what you have written for the book. Can you just share whatever छोटा सा snippet? आपको unmute करना होगा सर. आपका mic mute पे है.
All the tall
Yes.
leaders of family medicine. I am among the, along with Dr. S.K. Bansal, who inspired me in the first place, say almost 3.5 decades back when I did it in 1992. I would only say we all have to live a bigger role than we are doing. So we have to do work on 3 counts. One is to survive, second is to prosper, and third is to disseminate the message of family medicine. And believe me, since I told you earlier, I'm active on many fronts. I would openly say nobody can be your supporter. You alone will be a supporter. When I see many younger people like Sujata and many others, I'm so happy to see. So this count has to multiply in a big way. And believe me, I told you just a moment back, I have done Dr. Idris and other people. Myself and Dr. S.K. Bansal are the 2 people who are MA, MS in family medicine, which is a rare entity. Believe me that
Yes.
the chief guest was the planning commission member, Mr. Paul, Dr. Paul. He's a very tall man. I openly told him, sir, why don't the government help us? We are made to behave like beggars when we all know the GP, the family physician, every can do wonders. But why doesn't the government support us? Openly yesterday, the same thing talk came with my talk with the Union Health Minister. I said, why don't you create departments of family medicine in every medical college, and all the DNBs should be made visiting consultants or something, some role. Otherwise, how will family medicine grow? We all know that 80% of the medical care can be done by family medicine specialists or GPs or family physicians. But why doesn't the government promote it? They are building and making ready tertiary care, corporate hospital, big money going out. So again, the same message you asked me, what do I want to do? What did I talk? Even now, I'm the most enthusiastic supporter of family medicine, but nobody will help us. We alone have to carry our voice. That's why I openly have been saying, Mangal mein, jungle mein mor nacha kisne dekha. So we have to carry our voice to other forums. Our singing and our praises in our forums will not count. Wherever we are, Karnataka is doing very good. Many other state faculties are doing very good. Vandana was talking very high. In fact, this enthusiastic lot has to make we have to become role models as commercial successes, as medico-social successes, as medico-political successes. Only then, I believe, within a decade's time, at least we, the GP in India, will be a big entity. That's where it should be, and that's what I believe is the best solution to the beleaguered health delivery system of India.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Naresh. Inspiring words, and definitely those are things which I think we all need to focus upon. This particular book has become another means how we can spread the message of family medicine across. So one thing which I have personally spoken to Dr. Sahadev about, and which I'm doing, is that I am going to pick these books and gift them to people I know from other specialties, which is, I think, a great way of letting them know what we have been doing. And I think a lot of people, not just doctors, even my patients can relate to us, because that whole aspect of we being human is what comes out in the book. And I think that's something which people would love to relate. So I think that's something which we can also do. I'll move on to our next speaker on the line, and that is Dr. Vandhana. Please share your small snippet from the story that you have written, so that people get a taste of what to expect.
So thank you, Sahadev sir and Idris, because I actually sneak peeked into my story once this forum was decided on. So I went back to what I have actually written 4 years back. I don't know how many years back, and shared. Then I realized, ki, oh, it's actually a success story, and I shared it with my family. And my daughter, you know what my daughter told me, ma'am, मम्मा आपको क्या वर्ड्स की लिमिटेशन दी हुई थी? मैंने कहा नहीं, ऐसा तो नहीं था. You have made it so concise, you have done so much, why you have written so, मतलब maybe next edition I will be writing more. So as I said, it why it is success story. DNB फैमिली मेडिसिन ऑप्ट नहीं किया, पहली बार पास होंगी कि नहीं पता नहीं, पास हुई. सीनियर रेजिडेंट कहाँ करनी है, इंटरनल मेडिसिन में मिलेगी कि नहीं पता नहीं, वो मिली रेगुलर. उसके बाद कहीं ज्वाइनिंग के लिए गई तो किसी ने कहा डीएमओ के लिए ओवर क्वालिफाइड हो, कंसल्टेंसी के लिए अंडर क्वालिफाइड हो, फैमिली मेडिसिन हमें पता नहीं. मैक्स गई तो उन्होंने कहा कि हम आपको क्या जॉब देंगे, आप हॉस्पिटलिस्ट बना लो, आपको कभी कंसल्टेंसी नहीं मिलेगी, कभी ओपीडी नहीं मिलेगी, कभी आपको कॉल डे नहीं मिलेगी. टुडे आई एम प्रिंसिपल कंसल्टेंट हैविंग अ कॉल डे, आईपीडी एडमिशन राइट्स विद माय ओपीडीज एंड एवरीथिंग. एंड जो मेरा ड्रीम था फाइनली टू ओपन अ क्लिनिक ऑफ अ फैमिली फिजिशियन, तो बाहर मेरे बड़ा बड़ा बोर्ड लगा हुआ है, फैमिली फिजिशियन इन द क्लिनिक. So I think it's my dream come true. और coming from a very small village in Bihar, तो मेरा भैया कहता था कि सब तुमने रोटी ही बेलनी है, पढ़ती क्यों हो? So this is actually my success story which I shared with my family, and I am very happy and proud about.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vandana. From Pata Nahi to people asking Khoya Pata nowadays. A wonderful journey. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Dr. Sunil, your chance. Please share a small snippet from your story.
I think before I do that, I think it's so inspiring to hear all these stories because, nowadays in the media, we don't hear success stories about doctors. We only hear about doctors complaining or doctors getting beaten up or doctors saying, this is not right, that is not right. So to have an entire book written by doctors saying, these are our success stories, really inspiring, and I think we should give it to the world much more. Thank you very much for that, for taking the leadership. So from what I've written, I put a story there because when we were trained, we had to look after one area. We were given a defined population to look after. So from the hospital on Monday afternoon, I would go up the hills, 40 kilometers, walk through the jungle, and stay in a small hamlet with about 25 families, where all the families had family cards. And we knew who were the hypertensive patients, who were the ones on anticonvulsants, who needed vaccine, etc. Go to the next village, stay there overnight and come back. So there was this lady who was pregnant, and I told her, look, if you are getting contractions, come to the hospital. Now that is 3 kilometers walk through the jungle, 40 kilometers down through the plains and to the hospital. So after a few weeks, I was in the labor room posting, and this lady walks in saying, I got pain, So I came because he told me to come. And, I was so shocked that this lady is a tribal lady, has traveled all the way saying, doctor, you asked me to come. I've come. Let's have the delivery, So that was the essence of family medicine, that relationship of trust. And me training to do breadth of things, not just medicine, pediatric, etc., but doing. So this happened so many years ago. It would have been, 1996 or something, but it's so powerfully in my mind. So even now where we work now, we have work in 7 slums, and the relationship we build with these people, and even otherwise, our clinics for the rich also we have. I think that is what makes family medicine successful, if you can say. Look, this is what we wanted to do as doctors. This is what we wanted to do. We started medicine because we want to build relationship and help people. So that's why I put that story there, because it came, I still can remember that lady walking in pain, in contractions, traveling 45 kilometers saying, here I am. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sunil. Thank you. I always remember, I am sure Sujata will relate to this, that through our CMC training, A lot of experience and stories are said in such a wonderful way that it's quite vivid. You imagine them in your head, right? So thank you so much, Dr. Sunil. Thank you for that. So we will now move to Dr. Smruti. Yes, can you share us your story?
Yes, so as I already said, I have shared my background and my struggle during the residency. For me, sharing that was important because we still have the institute where there is no structured training of the DNB family medicine. Students are just being used as the replacement in the ICUs or the ward duties. So I hope my story will inspire to those residents to fight for their right and have a structured training in their institute. I also shared about my various projects I'm running in my area, and I'm happy to share that I'm already in touch with some of my juniors, and they're I won't say exactly replicating, but they're doing the similar work in their area. So it's already inspiring them. And I'm in touch with most of them on Facebook. And I would like to share that we are about to burst a racket of fake tablets of thyroxine in my area. So we are in the process of it's still investigation is going on, but we are sure we'll burst a big racket. So I feel these kind of small things through my story will inspire the new generation of family physicians, DNB family medicine residents, and practitioners, and hope I will be able to share a different side of a female GP. As Sujata also said, life just changes after being a mom and having your practice and then balancing your patients. So I'll try to share a second, I can say, leap of my story in the upcoming week.
Thank you. Thank you. We will now move to the next speaker, that is Dr. Hemant. Before I get to Dr. Hemant, your mic is on mute. And just one quick check, is Dr. Resmi with us?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. Resmi, just checking if you're around.
Hi.
I'll come back to you. Dr. Hemant, go on.
I'm so sorry. Welcome, Dr. Resmi. I have nothing much to add to in my story because story is already there in the print. But coming to what Dr. Sunil said, Dr. Sunil, it is really, I've read your story multiple times. And I find that it was probably your genuine well-meaning intent and concern that prompted the lady to come walk all the way, even during troubled times. So it is really not just you reaching out, it is you reaching out with well-meaning intent. And it really hats off to you. And as my story says, that it has been demanding, long, and happening all along. So that's the sum and summary of my story. Because, and the most gratifying part is that my daughter, elder daughter, despite me telling her not to consider her decision twice, is now in the 4th year of medicine, wants to be a family physician. So probably that's the best thing that I could get from my story.
Thank you, Dr. Hemant. Thank you. Dr. Bansal?
Yeah.
Sir, आपकी story से कुछ part share कीजिए, please. And I think you'll have to unmute your mic.
Am I audible?
Yes. Yes, you're audible.
See, a person, either he has to write something or something has to be written about him, then only people come to know that what he had done. So this book had to be there. I had, in a way, utilized this period of COVID master, say, relaxation period to write something about my journey in family medicine during this COVID period. And I got an opportunity. Sahadev told me that yes, he's on writing a book on this line, and I contributed my article. And whether that was, maybe that was too long for the book to be accommodated, and that was cut short. to be appropriately sized to fit into the book. There are many things in family physician practice side which encourages somebody to continue to remain in family medicine. Say, one day it so happened that I had a patient who was the owner of a shop, and he told me that, Dr. Saab, देखिए ना, वो दुकान एक जने को रेंट पे दी थी और वो खाली नहीं कर रहा है. मैं बोला भैया मैं क्या करूं? Coincidentally, it so happened that on the same next day, the tenant came. He was also my patient. डॉक्टर साहब देखिए ना, वो एक दुकान भाड़े में ली थी, अब वो लैंडलॉर्ड उसको खाली कराना चाहता है, और मैं बोलता हूँ मैं जितना पैसा एडवांस दिया था उतना अगर रिटर्न कर दे तो मैं खाली कर दूं. Then I told, well, if I arrange money for you, will you vacate the shop? And to the landlord, I told that if I assure you that the shop will be vacated, would you like to repay the money or compensate in that manner? Some of both of them I could convince, and the landlord gave the money and the tenant got the money, and their court cases were all over as a compromise. This is one aspect of the family medicine practice, the way the doctors are put into regards and status. Similarly, one patient, I had been to a visit, and the lady told me that she had very many complaints. I just told that, no, there is something which you are not telling me now. Then she told that I want to commit suicide. By that time there was Azan, and she is a Muslim. I couldn't get anything to answer her, but just I told that Azan ke samay mein aisa nahi bolte. And that could give her a message, and she did not. She told that, ठीक है डॉक्टर साहब नहीं करेंगे, ये चीज गलत है. Then I told, why did you think of like this? She confided in me, and she told that her husband is planning, has done a second marriage. Then I told, well, you people accept it. What can I do? She told, well, just you can at least prevail upon him that that girl should not remain in the same house as she is. And I could make the husband, just like I command, like I gave, I told that if you want both your wives to stay, just let both of them stay in different houses. And that materialized. So this thing means consultants in hospitals, they cannot do it. So these are the things which inspire somebody to remain as a doctor, and we call as a doctor is a family friend, philosopher, guide. Those things are now, most of the things are theoretical if you do not practice family medicine. I think there are many more things to be spoken, but the message is clear that family medicine has its place and family medicine needs to be revived. And we only will have to present ourselves in such a way that we have to set examples, that so that the younger ones will accept family medicine, the administrators will provide appropriate classified job opportunities to family physicians, and then this family medicine will do its wonder. Recently, I have thought of this. I will just wind it up. Recently, on 29th of May, I have scheduled one program for the specialist, that promotion of family medicine is beneficial for specialties and subspecialties. And now many of them are just waiting what I will say, that so that their specialties will be benefited by family medicine. I have chosen another way now to reduce the resistance against family medicine, so that the specialists themselves will accept that family medicine specialty is in their favor and helpful to them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bansal. It speaks volumes about the important factor of trust building with your patients. If there was no trust, they would not share this with you. And you have set a very good story out there for all of us to look back and inspire to be something like that for our patients. Thank you so much, Dr. Bansal. Dr. Srividhya?
I had discussed about it in the first time when we spoke. So one of the things which I am very keen and I would like to continue doing it is making a structured training for our family medicine residents. I was told when I moved back from UK that things may not be as rosy as it's going to be. Yes, of course, it's not as rosy as it is, but we can work around it and we can make it work. And whoever has been talking to me regarding this, we have tried our level best and we are doing it. And I'm sure a lot of us are also in the same platform of how we can make things work in family practice. I would like to focus more on training and make sure that our future residents don't go through this process of not a structured training and about career options and things like that. So our role, I feel, as a current family physicians and for the future doctors is mainly to ensure that we take through a path, give them a path in a way where things are much better for them and they don't have to face the same struggle. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Vidya. Thank you so much. So I see that Dr. Zareen has also joined us and Dr. Resmi also has joined us. We are 1 hour, 25 minutes since we started. Do we like to go on for 2 more people or should we do this the next time?
Let's go on, Idris.
Great. Thank you.
Next
Thank you,
time we'll
Dr.
have a round
Resmi.
of fresh topics, then we can close this now, no? So just my opinion.
Yes, I think we haven't lost anyone yet, so I think it's good that we continue. Thank you. Right. So, Dr. Sahadev, we will continue this for another couple of minutes and then we will come to questions. So, Dr. Resmi, can you join us? I'll give you
such a short notice.
You're okay to do it next time if you want. It's up to you. We'll have another one in the next quarter. If you would like to take that, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I prefer it next time because after all these inspiring stories, I would better prefer to start it next time so that people will not be. Yeah.
No problem at all. Thank you.
Overwhelmed.
Dr. Zareen, how about you?
Yeah, I'm actually outside. I think I would also prefer next time.
All right, no issues. So I would like to thank all of the speakers, the authors, the editors of the book who have joined us today. Before we end the session,
Dr. Idris,
yes, Dr. Naresh. Yes, sir.
Sir,
sure, sir, please.
At many major mega governmental levels, I have realized one thing. Government always likes to listen to proposals. We have lots of good ideas, but till that we tell the health ministry or the government of India or state governments that we can be an important bridge between people and the so-called tertiary level, and we can be a very economical, viable stepstone. I think we have to, in our next book or whenever in our next we sit together, we do something so that we are able to offer this thing to the people of India also and the government of India also and the health ministry also, that we can be useful. You know very well that the government is not promoting us at all. Rather, they consider it as total non-gratia. So from that point of view, we should propose something that we look at an important bridge which you are not able to present as. So whenever we meet next time, we should try that we just don't eulogize our own selves, appreciate our own selves, but we don't come out to anything big. So that's my small suggestion. Please kindly take care.
Can I add one more thing before you close? This is Lokesh.
Yes, Dr. Lokesh.
Yeah,
just give me 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute before I come back to you. So if there are any questions, please put them in the chat while Dr. Lokesh is sharing his feedback. So anybody with questions, please put it on the chat and I will come back to you as soon as Dr. Lokesh finishes.
Yeah.
Dr. Lokesh,
this is about, Thank you so much for giving the opportunity. So I made a website of all the data with family medicine PG. And also we're able to convince DNB board, Avjit said direct I have contact, and also they're increased to 400 PGs now per year in India, but we need 15,000. Second issue is the VK Paul sir before is not as much. Now he's very convinced. Student met in Delhi and they're very positive on it. They're pushing aims too. The one thing is the mandatory family medicine. I got one of the NMC member said they're not enthusiastic. That means they're not against, but they don't want to take ownership and push it on it. So only thing it will help is if you all family medicine in India get students spend with you 1 day or two, and that way we want to mobilize, and then they have to go and protest in front of the NMC. Then it will come to the NS in 2 seconds. So otherwise, this talk and that talk will not leave right now. So I just want to, that's my strongest. I'm pushing all the way through India, students, IMA and everything. So I just want to stop there. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Lokesh. Thank you. From the audience, are there any questions to the authors or the editors? If you have any, it's just the time to ask.
Andres, can I just react to Lokesh's statement? You'll be glad to know
Sure, please go on.
he has organized some of the students to be co-authors to his writings. They are his co-authors. Lokesh himself has given a story, and the students are co-authors to it, who are also part of the group and authors.
Thank you, Dr. Sahadev. So we don't have any questions yet. So I think what we will do is I would request Dr. Bijay and Dr. Sahadev to give the closing statement. I'll also mention to the audience how they can get a copy of the book in the current scenario right now and what to expect.
Bijay, do you want to go first now? Now that I had gone first in the beginning, it's only fair.
Sir, okay. So actually, for those who you might be familiar with the story of Mahabharata, I always saw family medicine in a different kind of a way. Like that's what people understand. That's why I take these kind of allegories. Like if Pandavas are all primary care people, like trying for good and everything, and the Kauravas are those people who are like quacks and even qualified people who are not doing medicine the right way, as we all know it. And specialists are those who took specialists are those people who took both the sides in the war. Like some people went on the good side, some people went on the bad side. So there are some people who are telling that family medicine extremely good. We want to send people back to you. We feel secure when our patient comes back to you, etc. And there are other larger group of specialists who feel that no, this is just quackery, this is just a glorified MBBS, etc., etc. So they are siding with the Kauravas. And then there is the government. The government is Pakka Dhritarashtra. His blind rolls up his eyes and says, "मैं विवश हूँ वत्स, मेरी दुविधा स्वयं परमात्मा भी नहीं समझ सकते, मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता, लेकिन मुझे पता है कि आप जो बोल रहे हैं वो सही है." So that is the problem. So that's the thing. So I thought family medicine needs stars. I agree with what previous speakers have said, that people need to know the story of individual people, and they need people to look upon family medicine people as some stars. I always ask, why did like the latest example would be emergency medicine. Why is it being pushed from all quarters? Corporate people love it. The government wants emergency medicine to come up in a big way. They have started DNB even without any lobbying or asking. They actually started DNB, and in a way they actually they jostled out the original pioneers of emergency medicine in India. That's the George Washington University and American universities who are running Masters of Emergency Medicine program. To that extent, the government was pushing in DNB, and there was actually a movement which almost declared the Masters of Emergency Medicine supposed to be quackery, almost. Till that extent, the government was supporting emergency medicine, and the lobby was strong. The only specialty in entire medical science which has successfully eradicated diseases is preventive and social medicine. We talk of malaria, we talk of polio, dracunculosis or whatever. But let us ask ourselves that question. Does any one of us know of any preventive and social medicine doctor as a star? I don't think so. We know of Vinitu Mandke, we know of Dr. Chitranjan Ranawat, we know of the biggest neurosurgeons in our area. But it's all got to do with perceptions. It's not just money making, but it's also about the hero image in the public mind that these genuinely legendary doctors in their own specialties have. I think gradually, I'm sure Dr. Bansal and Dr. Naresh Chawla, Dr. Sunil Abraham are all legends in their own right and are popular in their areas. But I think as youngsters, we all have to look into to reaching that kind of a position, maybe 10, 20, 30 years down the line. And I thought each of us should be sharing these stories. We are all in the starting of our career or maybe till midway in our career. Unless it's like someone like Bansal sir or Naresh sir, we are all in middle path of our journey. And I thought at least so far, the way we have come, people deserve to know that it's not just their training which is challenging. We all have had challenging areas in our practice, in our training. I just wished that our PGs would have the wisdom to realize that challenges are not unique to family medicine. All specialties have its own challenge. Unless you get into something like radiology, which is now in vogue, it's a very hot subject. But tomorrow, who knows? Just like Kodak was wiped out within a span of 2 or 3 years, radiology might be taken over by artificial intelligence. Suddenly, something which is hot today might be cold and forgotten tomorrow. We don't know. But all the predictions suggest that pediatrics, obs-gynae, medicine, and general practice, that is family medicine, are the 4 likely specialties to survive the onslaught of artificial intelligence and corporatization into healthcare. Because these 4 specialties need a human touch, and especially family medicine, which can only give a holistic touch, which can't be replicated by any artificial intelligence till date. So I thought this is a very wonderful beginning. We have only shared our stories, but now we have to share our perceptions also. The activism of family medicine, the other things, the pushing, the lobbying and everything is a different story. I think we should be discussing it in a different forum. But keeping in our focus in this discussion pointed on the book, I think we have to include all the failure stories also, if any. Okay, because that also should be deserved. Like, we should not look like a marketing team which is only highlighting the good aspects. I think we should welcome, if any, someone has any grudges, which also should be included in the book, and invite ideas also, which could be crystallized, because accepting ideas into a journal is a very difficult stuff. Scientific terminologies, wordings, it's not everyone's cup of tea. But maybe if we could have like volume 1, volume 2 of each edition of the book, we could have subsections in the book where we invite people to share their ideas on how this should proceed further. Maybe like in future, we can look back at the book and say that, okay, I was the one who put forth that idea and now it's turned into a tree. I am sure the seniors will identify with this idea also. I think these are the few points which I wanted to share in this. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vijay. I have actually noted it down as a text message to you. The three books which we can think of: Inspiring Stories, Pandemic Stories, and Lessons Learned. The next
Dr.
3 editions, hopefully.
Dr. Idris, 1 minute, can I speak?
Yes, Dr. Bansal.
I have one suggestion for our juniors, that we are all specialists in family medicine. So let us try to stick to family medicine in practice also, instead of just vying for a de facto medicine specialist. I think in short, I have communicated what I wanted to tell.
Thank you, Dr. Bansal. Dr. Sahadev, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. I think I thank you all for all your patience, and thank you, Idris, for putting us all together, staying on the theme of Mahabharata. When there is Dhanurdaras, Parthas like you all, and when you have got the confidence or the faith that we will succeed because you are doing all the good, and the Sri and Vijay, what Vijay says, are all yours. You will definitely overcome. We are getting there, and we will be most needed people. the good part of it is the network that you all have, the being together as somebody sitting in their clinics and putting questions and getting answered and feeling that part of the family being communicated is your strength. We are getting there. We will get there. We're not achieving only emergency medicine. We should be happy that at some point, we were helping them. But now they can help us to take the same route, whatever it is, we should. That's a small part of the preventive medicine. That sometimes I'm hearing that community medicine is already family medicine. That's clearly a concept essay. So I would recommend strongly everybody to read it if you haven't. Read that chapter where it is clearly explained by Professor Sasidharan what is community medicine, what is hospital medicine, and what is family medicine. I think we should be absolutely clear to tell that story to everybody. Nobody is undermining community medicine, and community medicine also should not undermine family medicine. So I think we should be clear about that. I think the book has stimulated the idea, created the collaborativeness, and created new ideas. We can dwell on it. And I think it's just the beginning. And there is a lot of potential for us to grow and to do good. So be confident in ourselves, and definitely the good things are coming our way. You all feel anyway. This year has been a tremendous year. The book and the possible book and the AIMS taking all these departments, a lot of interest from organizations like ICMR to collaborate. There are works going on to create other specialty or people to work with you, like care workers and everything else. It's just beginning. There are a lot of things are coming our way. And thank you for making me part of this journey. I thank you all for sharing the story. And I've read that again and again, and I could read it again. So it's no problem for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sahadev. Just before you leave, please share with us where can people get the book right now?
Yeah, that's a difficult question now. I need some more enthusiasm, a little bit more enthusiasm from AFPI, but that's not a problem. The problem is this, that books that of the first 300 books printed, 200 went straight to AFPI. I don't know, I'm believing they were all sold at the conference. And 100 books that I had, I sent it to mostly to the authors at my own cost. At this moment, the original printer, and there is somebody else I have found out who can distribute it, but the original printer wants to stick to it, doesn't want to share it. Having got the baby that has gone so far from America to Canada to everywhere, he wants to stick to it and he wants to distribute it. But it will take time for creating that Amazon thing. So until then, you have to be patient. But in the meantime, if anyone needing the book, please let me know. I will see what I can do, but I'll create the link as soon as I can and I'll share with you. The other thing, the last thing is the book. Anywhere there is a request to your relatives, to your patients, please give it to them one. And that is why we can create among the people the awareness. What is family medicine? There are people, I think at least I know 2 people who have agreed to translate to Telugu and to Odia. Please, in your own vernacular, we are all from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. If you can translate to other languages, the success story will reach everybody. So that's all I want to say and finish it here. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Anybody else would like to share anything else before we close?
So good night to all.
Good night to all of you. Good night. Goodness, SK. Goodness. Vijay.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good night. Lovely to see all of you. To the next quarter.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I share something, Dr. Idris?
Yes, please go on.
Yeah. it is really a great inspiration stories hearing from all of us. But one thing common